What is going on, everybody? You know it's me, Chandler with the C, and I'm here to bring some new content to you today. I'm gonna start trying to do a series of videos of death battle matchup ideas, and these are ideas that I kind of come up with myself based off a specific theme. This theme this week is going to be Kingdom Hearts fights, and these are fights that I think haven't really been talked about for the most part. And some of them, do have basic connections, and some of them are fights that I don't know maybe one of the characters on, but I think thematically they're very interesting fights. And yeah, it's gonna be very fun. Very interested to see what you guys think. And most of these fights, I tried not to use ones that have already kind of been thought of, and I'm gonna try and keep doing this series every week or so, just like with a new theme, new ideas, and to keep things fresh, So let's get this underway. The first matchup I had was Alden versus Zaheer from The Legend of Korra. Zaldin is one of the organization's. He's one of the toughest fights in the organization, honestly, from the games, and that's why I think he'd be a good one. He really is good at pushing people's buttons and finding out what is their thing. And Zaheer is all, and they both mostly rely on wind as their power. Sorry, one sec. They both rely on wind as their power. So I liked that from the thematic standpoint. I think Zaheer has better control over his wind, and then Zaldin has his spears to kind of make up for that lack of control. But it should be very interesting to see these two clash, and I think it'd be a very fun and interesting fight. I don't know much about Zaheer. I know that was the that was the chapter of Legend of Korra that I stopped watching on, sadly. But I'm gonna get back into it soon. But for now, this is my number 5 pick for unheard Kingdom Hearts fights. Number 4 was Roxas versus Axel from the Mega Man X franchise. They're both copies of the main character, kind of, but they're not. They are, but they aren't. That's the fun thing, and I think it would be interesting to see a Mega Man versus Kingdom Hearts matchup, and this is probably the closest one I could find. Yeah, and I liked it. It was just very cute, and they have very interestingly similar colors to one of the other fights that I have on this list. Anyways, next fight is Aqua versus Tori Hansen. Blue swordswomen with power suits. They both have magic and technology of some sort. With Aqua, she has her Keyblade transformations into the glider and her Keyblade armor, and then Tori is a Power Ranger, so she has her sword and her gun. They both have magic of some sort, and I think it's a very interesting fight. And although I think the Kingdom Hearts verse is stronger than Power Rangers verse, I think it'd be a fun fight, especially because I know my boy Uncrowned Otaku is a big Power Rangers fan, so this one would probably be a harder decision for him to make. But you know me, I'd be repping that Kingdom Hearts all day. Number 2 is Yuki Terumi versus Vanitas, and this is mostly because of their connection to negative energy. Yuki Terumi uses his negative energy to empower himself, and then Vanitas has so much negative energy he literally created what's the word? He literally created the Unverse, which is a group of literally built from negative emotion. That's how they exist. It is because of him. And that's why I liked this matchup. And then my number 1 is Shion versus Ryuko. And on a surface level, it doesn't seem like these two have a lot of connections. But to me, I would say that they definitely do. They are both not human in the sense of Shion is actually a doll with a soul inhabiting it, and Ryuko is spoilers for Kill La Kill if you have not seen that yet, which I suggest you go see it. Ryuko, and also if you've watched Death Battle, you probably know her backstory. But she's not necessarily human. She's a half human, I guess you could say. They both have unique weapons. They both have like similar style, I guess I could say. I mean, Ryuko gets like half naked, but like that's her power. But I think it'd be a very interesting fight. They both have transformations, which is a big deal. And I think it'd be fun to see a final form Shion versus the big giant scissor blades. Anyway, yeah. So some honorable mentions that I wanted to throw out. There were some that like I hear a lot. Like Anakin versus Terra is a good one. I think it's a very thematic fight. Riku versus Sasuke, and on top of that, Hiei versus Riku. I like both of those fights. If Sora was to come back, Shulk would probably be the best opponent for him. And then I found Phosphora versus Larxene. Yeah, Larxene versus Phosphora to be a very interesting electricity fight. I liked it more than some of the other ones that they had. But the one that I'm pretty sure is going to happen eventually for Kingdom Hearts. Oh, dishonorable mentions first. All the Axel fights. We have not had a good Axel suggestion, in my opinion. And I look on the Reddit, I look on the Wiki fandom. I try and search everywhere for some of these matchup ideas. And some of them are just ones that I'm like, yeah, this would work. But Axel, all of his matchups are like loose. Like, I don't like them. They don't feel like right. You know, it's just like, oh, just another fire thrower. But like, Axel's like different. You know? Anyway, I want him to fight somebody unique. And I don't think we found him yet as a community. And then the fight that's definitely going to happen at some point, because it's been all the rage so far, is Emperor Palpatine versus Master Xehanort. This will happen eventually because of the whole Star Wars Kingdom Hearts thing now. Light versus darkness kind of thing. These are the villains of their games, blah, blah, blah. I also think it's a lot closer than Yoda versus Mickey, but I think it'll probably have a similar outcome. We'll see. I think the Emperor is a better tactician, maybe, than Xehanort, but Xehanort's got like 40 chess going on. It's weird. Anyway, that's gonna do it today. Let me know if you have any other ideas. Let me know if you got some themes you want me to explore in the comments below. I will see you all next time. Peace.